Now, the final topic that we want to talk about here, we've got over 3 minutes to talk about this. So I'm sure we're going to cover everything that you ever wanted to hear about.
We'll make it work.
One of the topics you probably heard from this law office enough from one of our panelists or many of our panelists, which is ESTA. For the most part, I think most people are on board. All right. ESTA is what it is. It's been around, a shock to the system at one point in time. Now people have kind of settled in and they've said, okay, I've got it mostly right. I'm not sure if I'm 100% right because there's been no cases on it yet, right? We've got some guidance, but we don't have 100%. But maybe Courtney, since you're here to talk a little bit about this ESTA, Earned Sick Time Act, I think something's coming down the pike pretty soon, though, that's going to be different than what we've been talking about the last couple of months.
We've been monitoring ESTA. The biggest change that I can really speak to right now, right? And Cliff, please jump in for me here if you have any additional insight. But the biggest thing we've been monitoring, because there hasn't been that definitive case law or judgment or any kind of proposed bills from the legislator, we've been monitoring the FAQs. That's to me been the biggest thing that keeps throwing a wrench into things. Once we feel like we've gotten settled with ESTA, that's what keeps changing. It's not really clear where the state is coming up with some of their guidance that they've included in the FAQs, but that's been the biggest thing that we've been monitoring and having to kind of pivot accordingly as we navigate our clients into compliance, right? Because they're seeing these FAQs, they're seeing this guidance, and they're thinking to themselves, well, gosh, now we've got to change our classification, or gosh, is this employee a volunteer, or is this employee, you know, captured over here? So we've had to monitor that quite a bit as we wait for, you know, those case law you know, decisions to kind of come rolling in.
Now, the other thing that's coming up October 1 is small employers are now going to have to get into compliance, right?
Oh yeah, that's a deadline that is coming up right now. You know, for most employers, this went into effect immediately, right? And the cover in like first thing in the morning on February 21st of this year. And then you got those fortunate small employers or small businesses where this doesn't kick in until October 1st. So right around the corner. And I do think that that's going to prompt a lot of claims or complaints being filed, and then we might start seeing some of that guidance we've been seeking from the courts on how to enforce this. There is like another timeline population in this group for small businesses. If you're an employer who you're a small business and you've only had one or more employees since I think it's February, I want to say, what is it, 22nd of 2022, you've got 3 years before you can actually start enforcing ESTA. So that's, you know, you've got that little buffer as well if you're that kind of small employer and have only one employee since that time frame. But those are the only deadlines I can think of right now.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, there's a lot of questions on ESTA. We're still fielding those. It is developing for small employers, especially. If you have any questions, reach out to us. It is a technical law. It's a new law. Like all laws, there's a little bit of changes, but we've done a lot of work. All of our attorneys, I think, on this call here have helped out clients, and we work collaboratively to help out. Another major law that's come out is some significant changes to the Youth Employment Standards Act that are going to be coming out. Mike Bloom, who's on this call, does a tremendous amount of discussions on that. And I would recommend, if you have any questions on the new way that you're going to have to get yourself ready. Everybody's going to have to get on the new portal that's going to be held through the state instead of the school boards. There are a number of issues that you're going to have to get up to speed on. Again, everybody's a little bit different. Your industry is probably going to be different, but I would strongly recommend with the changes to that statute, if you use youth and you are an employer, talk with your counsel before you go in and get those people signed up. So, because it's important that we know the changes. With that, we're right at 11:32. We're a little bit over. I really appreciate everybody joining. I know we had a lot of material, short period of time. Thanks everybody for coming, attending. All the attorneys here are very happy to be here. Want to help out. If you have any questions, reach out. I know there's a number of question answers. We just can't get to all of them, but I do know that we're going to try to get back. We're going to look it through and try to get back to those questions and answers and respond back if we can. Some of those will be a little bit more detailed, so we won't be able to just say, hey, off the cuff. It would be more of an advice issue. But again, we really appreciate the opportunity to talk with you. We're going to try to post this on our website. We'll try to do it in segments so you can kind of look back if you have any questions. You can kind of go back and review it. But as always, when in doubt, just give us a call.